Hello there, and welcome to part 1 of the Shipper Transportation Management System tutorial. We will be showing you how to begin with using our TMS, as well as how to use all aspects efficiently and effectively. First things first, let's begin by logging into our account. We'll be greeted by the All Orders page first thing. We're going to be starting with the Profile page first, before we delve too deep. On the left-hand side, with the dark blue column, we're going to scroll down until we see Profile. In our case, we have all of our information filled out, as you can see. You will definitely want this page filled out, as carriers will be requesting this kind of information. At the top, next to the company name, there is a button to edit the logo, which will show on your bills of lading and invoices. Clicking the pencil icon next to the About Us section will allow you to fill out basic information like your website or physical address. Your contact info will be available to all carriers who are thinking of booking with you or have booked from you before. Payment info will display this name and email when you are invoicing your own customer. You can also set your default payment term when creating orders. There is also a section to make clear your preferred payment method when paying your carriers. This way, when viewing your profile from the load board, they will know what to expect as far as payment processes go. Here in the carrier requirements, you can post information that will be included on every post you make to the load board. At Super Dispatch, we do ask that our carriers become a verified carrier. This means that they have uploaded their W-9, USDOT certificate, and cargo insurance information for your easy reference. If there is still information you need from the carrier before you can work with them, you can specify you need a certificate of insurance made out to you or fill out the additional instructions field down below. With bond insurance, this would be your own coverage that the carrier may need for their own reference. It's as simple as filling out the information field provided, and it will be shown when the carriers view your profile from the load board. You can also add references to appreciate your credibility, letting the carriers know this company will put in a good word for you. In Load ID, you can create a system that will help automatically generate load IDs for you. So if you start with the prefix Super, for example, and add the number 1, your load IDs will start counting up as Super 1, then Super 2, Super 3, and so on. Terms and conditions will be posted along with every order you put on the load board. A carrier will have to checkmark that they have read and agreed to your terms and conditions. If you have this written already, you can copy and paste that text here, then save. At the bottom, we have the Central Dispatch integration. Super Dispatch has the capability to post to Central Dispatch in addition to the Super load board. In order to enable this ability, you will need your Central Dispatch login and password. Enter that information there, and the Post to SLB and CD button will appear on your loads. This allows you to post to both Super Load Board and Central Dispatch. This will help you get more eyes on the load and move the order faster. What if Central Dispatch users request a load and they don't use Super? We will cover this case when we are ready to send a load in a bit. And lastly, back at the top, we have the Ratings tab. In the Ratings tab, we can see what other carriers are saying about our company. It will provide the company information of the one who gave us the rating. That way, if we get a negative rating and want to contact the carrier, we will have the ability to reach them and rectify any issues they may have had. We do have a percentage rating to give an overall idea of all of our interactions at the top. This is the Manage Carriers page. This is how you will keep track of the carriers you have worked with or have yet to work with and attach notes and files to them. At the very top, there is a search bar so you can find the carrier you were looking for. The filter on the side can change the criteria we are searching by. It will start you off in the name and USDOT, but if we have their MC number, email, or phone number, you can search by those as well. We have the DOT number, so if you search for that in the field on the right, a drop-down bar will search for the results. If we click on the company name, it will bring us to the carrier page. As we scroll through this page, you will see the carrier's company info, contact info, and billing info like ACH banking numbers. You can also see their assessment. This is in regards to verified carrier status. It will have links to the USDOT certificate, W-9, and cargo insurance pages if they are provided. Below that will show their authority. This will reference the FMCSA to see if they are still certified to haul. You can click the update button next to the last check date to be sure that they are still authorized. There is also a cargo insurance section that will show you a summary, as well as a link to the page itself. And below that, there is the carrier's terms and conditions. These will also be found at the end of the bill of lading and invoice they email back to you once the order is delivered. Back at the top, in the right corner, we have the internal records. Under carrier status, we can determine if we want to approve or blacklist them. Doing either of these, we'll file them under that respective tab in the Manage Carriers section, while also putting a tag on their account. All carriers will begin as default when you begin. If you check the preferred option, that will help the carrier a lot when they are requesting your loads on the load board. Marking a carrier preferred means that they will not have to request loads every single time they want a load from you. They can instead book instantly without having to wait for your response. Worth noting that if the carrier decides to negotiate prices or dates, it will turn the order back into a request. They cannot change the prices and/or dates and instantly book. Below preferred, you can mark the carrier as a certificate holder. So if you have a carrier compliance process in addition to Super Dispatch's verified carrier, you can request the carrier send you those additional documents and you can upload them here. Similar to carrier status, it will put a certificate holder tag on the carrier too. You also have a section at the bottom to upload any additional files you want attached to the carrier for other Shipper TMS users to see. Once done, we can click Save. Now, below the carrier's name, we can see the tags showing they are both approved and preferred. They will also appear in the Approved and Preferred tabs within Manage Carriers. And lastly, we have the Internal Notes section on the right, allowing other Shipper TMS users to see any notes that may be relevant to this carrier. Now we have the Customers tab where you can save contact information. This makes it easier when creating a load manually. When you're filling out the customer, pickup, and delivery fields, you can create these contacts so it will autofill with their information. You can create your customers manually or by importing them via spreadsheet. Let's create one manually first by clicking the Create New button. This process involves going through each field and filling out the appropriate information. In this case, we'll just skip ahead and fill out everything we have. Once done, we'll click Save in the top right corner. Now they will appear on the left column. On the right, it will show the information we had just typed out. To the right of that, we can fill out notes on this customer. Add Notes for Carrier at the top means that every time you use this customer in an order, the carrier will see this information. This could be the customer's hours, or perhaps alternate phone numbers. Internal notes are displayed here in the Customers tab and Customers tab only. They will not appear on the load. Next, we have the load board instructions. These would appear on the posting to the load board. So if there is information the carrier would need to know before requesting, and it's standard for this customer in particular, that should be included here. Lastly, order instructions will be included when the order has been officially accepted by the carrier. These instructions are visible to both the dispatcher and driver. Anything they may need to know while this order is active should go here. An example of this could be letting the driver know to notify the location before arriving, or maybe directions to a specific spot at the delivery location for drop-off. If you want to delete this contact, you can click the Delete button in the very top right. Now, if you have a spreadsheet with your contact information, you can import that file by clicking the down arrow next to the Create New button. Click on Import, then Import again. Navigate to the CSV file you have saved, and import it. It will generate all of the customers you have on your spreadsheet. Important to note, this spreadsheet will have to follow the sample CSV file we have provided within the Import Customers page. You can download that for reference, fill that out, then import. Now we can export our customers too. Just click the down arrow again, then click Export. It will ask you where you want this spreadsheet downloaded to. Navigate to your preferred location and hit Save. Terminals are a way to distinguish your customer contacts from places like dealerships, auctions, or maybe even your own locations. It will help you in creating a load by saving the terminal's information and autofilling the order instead of having to manually type it each time. This page will act very similarly to the Customers page. You can create new terminals at the top by clicking the blue Create New button. Once a terminal is created, you can see the terminal info, points of contact, and place to add notes for the carrier. If you click Add Notes for Carrier, you can leave any information regarding the specific terminal the carrier would need to know here. So for instance, if a terminal closes at a certain time, or maybe there's a side entrance they need to know about, you would want to type that out in this space and hit Save. This will be made visible to the carrier when they are driving to this location. In addition, you can import your terminals over, just like you can with your customers. So long as it's in our sample spreadsheet format, you can create all of the terminals in one go. Just click the down arrow next to the Create New button, click Import, then click Import again, then find the file you are wanting to import. Once done, all of your terminals should be found on the left column. Now let's rate a carrier we have just had deliver a load for us. We will start on the carrier's profile page. To the right of their name is the blue Rate Carrier button. We will click that and a pop-up window will appear. In our case, they delivered perfectly with no issues at all. We're going to click Positive. Below that, it will ask us what went well. We're going to check all the options. We can also leave additional comments down below to explain in further detail. Then we can submit it once we're done. Worth noting that negative ratings will be pending once submitted. It will only go into effect after 10 days, meaning the recipient's rating percent will then be affected. These 10 days give the recipient time to meet with the other party and work with them to rectify the issue and remove the rating. And with that, this concludes part 1 of the STMS onboarding tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our support team. We'll be more than happy to help.